Hello and welcome to the Reservoir Red Dogs podcast. Firstly, we have to say thank you so much for the amazing reaction to the Alan Rodgers episode. It was amazing. So many ex-players, Craig Armstrong, John Thompson, Jeff Thomas getting in touch, telling us how much they loved it. That went viral, that episode. It was amazing, wasn't it, Macca?
Oh, it was unbelievable. What a boy.
Do keep emailing the show, rrd1865 at outlook.com, and tweet us at rrd1865. If you can subscribe and review us on iTunes, it all helps spread the love. Today's guest is someone we're very excited about having on the show. Technically, Nottingham Forest's most successful manager, and I'll come on to why that is in a second. Born in Edinburgh, a talented striker, had an 8-year spell up front at Notts County in the 80s, co-managed us in 2006 alongside Frank Barlow. It's the legend, Ian Charlie McParland. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
Firstly, should I call you Ian or should I call you Charlie? And where does Charlie come from?
Bonnie Prince Charlie, obviously.
Of course.
Prince of Scotland. Other people will say I walked like Charlie Chaplin. But Bonnie Prince Charlie, Prince of Scotland.
That's so cool. So cool. What a great nickname. That's brilliant. It's a good nickname to have. Not a lot of people know this, or maybe they do, but I was surprised to find out that when you played for County in the 80s, Cloughie tried to sign you. A fee had been agreed even.
The story of that was I was up in Scotland playing golf early in the morning with all my old mates up there, some of my ex-miners mates and stuff like that, the old lads who'd retired. I got back to my house about 10 o'clock with my Scottish rolls. My mum's got the sliced sausage on in the frying pan, frying them up for me. The telephone went and my mum went and answered the telephone and she says, "Ian, there's somebody called Brian Clough on the phone for you." My mum didn't even know who Brian Clough was. Probably about the only person in the world who didn't. So I thought it was a wind-up from my mates. Took the phone and I went, "Okay, who's the Come on in, all right." And he goes, "Ian, it's Mr. Clough here." And I went, "Oh, I'm really sorry, Mr. Clough." I said, I'm terribly sorry. I thought it was some of the lads winding me up." He says, "I'd like you to sign for Nottingham Forest. I'd like you to come and play up front with my son Nigel, or play on the left in front of Stuart Pearce, breaking off the left onto your right foot." He says, "When can you come down?" I says, "I'll be down tomorrow." So I drove down that night.
My God.
Went and met Mr. Clough, walked into his office. He sat there, his green shirt on, asked me how much I was worth. I was stuck for words. I didn't know what to say to them. Came out with some figures. The actual money I asked for is a weekly wage, is a yearly wage. He actually doubled that.
Wow, he did?
He doubled it. I think he knew I was very humble. I wasn't a big-time Charlie. I just wanted to play football. And he knew I'd went in there and probably undercut myself. He said, "I'll give you a 3-year contract. I'll double your money. Then if you're doing
No
well..."
agent, Charlie?
No agent. No agent.
But also not even like a father or anything like that? Cause
No. My dad came down the following week to meet him. When I walked out there, I was 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been a life changer for me. It was 1987. I'd learnt my trade. I was 27 years of age. I'd became a proper footballer, and it was time to go back into the big league again. I'd spent 3 years in the big league with Notts County, in and out the team and learning my trade. Unfortunately, a certain Mr. Pavis is not with us anymore. Scuppered the deal, you know.
Man, gutted.
Gutted. I'd love to have actually come and played for Brian Clough. And
in that period as well, going to Wembley every summer. And...
Yeah. So, and again, see how I pitted myself in the big league again, playing with likes of Nigel and Pearce and all these people.
Franz Carley, Chapman, Tommy Gaynor.
But that's life. Sometimes it kicks you in the teeth. Sometimes it doesn't.
It kicks you elsewhere as well.
I've had a lot of kicks in the teeth and a lot of kick in the nuts as well, to be honest. But you dust yourself down and get on with it. So
heartbreaking.
It really is.
I mean, it's the sort of thing. I don't know if you've read. Is it Gary Imlick or Stuart Imlick's book, My Father and Other Working Class Football Heroes? About the 59 Forest winning side, cup winning side, but also about how little power players had. And you always think of that as like a sort of throwback to the 50s. You don't expect that to have still been going on in the 80s.
Yeah, I was definitely going in the 80s because, as I say, until Mr. Busman got it all sorted out, like the the club could want to they keep your registration. They can't do that now, you know. Even if you don't want to sign a contract, you couldn't go and play somewhere else because the club could still hold your registration. Modern day players have got a lot to be thankful for the Bosman ruling.
That's right.
Long as it's used the right way with the players and they're honest and their agents are honest. Unfortunately, agents, that's another story. but again, it's just sometimes you're born at the wrong time, you know. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't swap anything, you know, what's went on, you know.
So after your playing career, you're at Arnold Town for a while.
No, I was at Arnold Town for 2 games.
Yeah, wild. Did a lot of heavy lifting.
Let me tell you that story, right? I was coaching at the Nottingham Forest Academy, and Ian McParland, one of my mates, and who I played with, a very good player, another Scotsman, but a thug on the pitch, but a very good footballing thug. He could play football like...
A gentleman's thug.
A gentleman's thug, and he was manager at Arnold Town, and I was coaching the Nottingham Forest under-13s Academy boys. Says I'm short of players. I'm playing in the FA Vaz, and I was 36, 37. You know, my hips were shot. He says, "Can you come and help me out to play a game?" So it was in the first half. The ball got played up to me, turned to centre half. All of a sudden, like I went down as if I'd been shot. I'm trying to get up to punch the centre half. The centre half was nowhere near me. What had happened is my Achilles tendon had snapped.
Oh my God!
And McCulloch says, "I'll give you 50 quid for playing in the game." So I've come off, and bless him, the physio was saying, "Oh, we'll have you right for next week, Charlie." I looked at him. I goes, "Are you sure?"
Was it ruptured?
I says, "My foot's at a right degree angle.
Yeah.
I've ruptured my Achilles tendon." And I never got that £50 for McCulloch.
They still owe you 50 quid?
They still owes me 50 quid.
We need to get you that 50. We need people to start tweeting Arnold Town.
Yeah, well, not. McCulloch probably kept it and went for a few Budweisers, knowing him. Like, you know what I mean?
Why? Of all the lagers to be drinking. So then you find your way into the Forest fold eventually. And not just obviously at the academy, but you were reserve team coach at Forest for 10 years.
I was part-time for a year, then a full-time job came up doing the under-13s and under-17s. And that's the best grounding I've ever had, because I started with under-13 kids, worked my way all the way up.
Yes.
And that is the best way to become a coach. Nowadays, all these coaches, they want to run before they can walk. They think they're fantastic. They don't want to put the actual hard yards in, coach all these young players.
So true.
And learn your trade.
So did you have hold of all that great young Paul Hart side? Early doors?
Yeah, they were just above us.
Okay.
And we're under 13s, and Westcar was in my group.
Craig Westcar was brilliant.
The under 13s. Then just above that, Doss was in the other group. Then I had that group in the under 17s. Then they weren't in the under 17s for long, because they went straight to play for the under 19 team. Reedy, Dawson, JJ, Pruitt, all these people. It was a fantastic academy, and I had a great time in that academy, learning my trade, working with Paul Hart together. And you know what really annoys me now about all these people on these media people on Sky and all this, and they're talking about goalkeepers being able to kick the ball out and handle the ball and passing out for the back. You're Forest fans. We were doing that 14 years ago.
Yes.
Paul Hart, myself, all the teams at Forest. We had a goalkeeper called Darren Ward.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. He played for Mansfield and County.
County and Forest, good goalkeeper, fantastic with his feet.
Yes.
We had Matthew Louis John right back, Jimmy Brennan left back, bombing forward. We had Dawson and Ricky Simica splitting. We had Gareth Williams at the bottom of the diamond, and we were passing the ball out for fun. Comes back to Wardy, fullback's on his bike, he's pinging it out to the left fullback or the right fullback. We were doing that years ago.
Yeah.
And that is why people like Paul Hart and other British coaches like myself and all that, there's not enough credit due. People like us want to play football with courage. And don't get me wrong, Pep, fantastic manager, £500 million helps as well. Right? There's a lot of good British coaches, and we were doing that.
But he's not owed 50 quid by Arnold Town.
I could do that 50 quid now. I've been out of work for a bit. By the way, what's the fee?
But you're so true about, because I was going to ask about why that period was so good in terms of youth development at Forest. When you're coaching these young players, how much of it is about instilling a philosophy like that, about having an organisation, a diamond in midfield, and a goalie that, and left backs and right backs bombing on, and how much of it is about developing technical ability, like
everything?
And how much did you personally like? What was your specific role within that unit?
Well, first of all, like you've got Paul Hart, right? Then you need the good players.
Yes,
it's all about players and good players. Us coaches, what we do is, be it good players, not so good, we take the rough edges off them and point them in the right direction. We're not miracle workers.
No.
And what we had real good players. And also what we had discipline. They all knew the rules and regulations. It wasn't brimstone and treacle. Like, there was no baseball caps. I know times have moved on now since 14 years ago. There's no baseball caps.
Yeah.
We didn't allow the apprentices to have tattoos and wear earrings.
Oh, this is so good.
Stuff like that. They had to come into the training ground shaved.
Yes.
I was always chasing Reedy about with a razor. I says, Reedy, get shaved,
Yeah.
And there was people there who wanted to put the hours in. We worked 7 days a week, I would drive the minibus up to Newcastle with the under-17s on a Saturday. On the Sunday, I'd drive the bus up to Newcastle with the under-13s because I wanted to be a coach.
Yeah.
I loved working with these young players. I wanted to learn my trade. And it was all discipline. Paul Hart was at the top of it. Then he had his lieutenants, his generals, lieutenants, and we were all pointing in the same direction. We all stuck to the rules. There was no empire builders. We all knew how we wanted to play. And I was doing an FA Advanced Youth Award at the England St George's Park, and this Ted Crocker was coming up and telling us how England are doing it, like all the levels, under 17 up, they're all playing the same way, they've all got the same buzzwords, they're all got this and that. And that, to be actually, for once, I just kept my mouth shut. I'm thinking to myself, we were doing that 14 years ago at Nottingham Forest Football Club.
Yeah.
You're not reinventing the wheel. You're maybe there's new terminology come out now for all these things. But hey, listen, we were miles ahead of our time. Great young players. Even the ones that never went for millions, the John Thompsons, the Chris Doyes, the Keith Foys. We had good players all, and all went to make living. Great lads. And
great attitudes as well.
Great attitudes. Hey, listen, they had a bit devilment in them. Don't get me wrong, but I love a bit devilment in players. If you give them an inch, you'll try and take a mile.
Yeah.
We had some great fun, outward bound courses with them. Fantastic. We're up there in the Lake District, and I'm just walking in the dark lights about 11:30 at night. The next minute, there's about 10 of them jump on top of me, and I still won. But no, it was it's all about connecting with them, teaching them the right habits to play football. Good first touch, passing move, big hearts, So
do you think it was a development of the pre-existing Forest way?
Yeah. Listen, clubs have got certain ways how they want to play.
And Forest had a very distinctive one, though.
That's
Always
right.
have done, haven't they?
Always
Not
have done.
always, but
some
our
managers have veered away from
Yeah.
it. But I had the same belief as Paul Hart. I wanted to be a passing coach. I wanted to win football matches, but when I won the development, I wanted to be a passing football team who win football matches and develop these young players along the way. And it was a pleasure to work with them. When you've got quality like that, it's a coach's dream. You talk about the Forest way, when Mark Arthur came over to me and Frank Barlow and asked us to take over the club when Gary Megson had left his job, he says to me, Charlie, I want you to get them back playing the Forest way on the coaching pitch. I says, me and Frank will do this together. I says, listen, Frank, I'll be surprised if we lose a game. That's how confident I am with turning these players about, because they were good players. Simple as that.
Well, the record that you two have, you are technically the most successful managers in Forest history, You have a win rate of 61.5%. Played 13, won 8, drew 4, lost only 1. Clough's win rate was 46.18%. So almost 20% better than Clough in terms of win rate. John Pemberton technically has a 100% record. Played 2, won 2 after he replaced Calderwood in 2008. But that doesn't count, really. You are technically the most successful Forest manager by quite some way.
Yeah, are you sure that it wasn't 9 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat?
I thought it was, well...
You might be right, I might be wrong, but that's what I'm saying.
Wikipedia says...
Listen, Wikipedia right, has got everything about my career wrong so far.
I was going to talk about you winning the European Cup at Man United. But it's an amazing... And I remember it so clearly. It was like you managed to get stuff out of those players. It was remarkable how the same group of players that had been stagnating under Megson came alive under you and Barlow.
I just went in, perfectly honest with them and straight. I says, listen, you do your jobs. Simple as that. I said, me and Frank are not here, right, to about. We are here to win football matches. Simple as that. I says, and this is how we're going to win football matches. This is how we're going to play. If you've got any problems, the door's always open to come in and have a chat with me and Frank. I says, there'll be decisions made where you're either in the team or out the team. I says, so... That's how it's going to be. Absolutely. One of the first things that one of the players come to me and says, he says, Charlie, he says, cream cakes were banned by the fitness coach. I went, yeah. He says, is it all right if we bring cream cakes in for, on the birthdays? I says, you can bring cream cakes in for birthdays, as long as I get first pick, because I love a cream cake.
You hoisted us up the league. Just in terms of what it's like to co-manage a team. Obviously, in Forest history, there's been Clough and Taylor, really, the only other management duo.
Well, you can't mention me and Frank in that breath. A couple of idiot journalists says that at the start with me and Frank, and I says, don't talk stupid. You know what I mean? But you can't mention us in the same breath as Mr. Clough and Mr. Taylor.
No, but obviously it's just... It lends the comparison, doesn't it? Because it's such a rare thing to have co-managed. Obviously, Forest had that, and then we have it again, and the success comes. I mean, do you think you'd have been as successful on your own, and would Barlow have been able to do it as well, or was there something about the chemistry between the two of you?
We had chemistry between us, but I'd have still been successful on my own. The way I talk to people, the honesty, the transparency, the way we want to play, the preparation, all that stuff. But me and Frank had fantastic chemistry.
It was a great partnership. And I mean, some of the games really... One game in particular, the Swindon game, the 7-1 demolition of Swindon. When not only does Nicky Southall get a hat-trick, Wes Morgan scored twice. One of the most incredible games in the history of the City Ground.
Me and Frank were a genius. We got Wes to score twice in a league game. No.
Keep the Clough comparison then.
No. But that's just a joke. That's just a joke. Because I mind saying to Frank, I says, I wish it was 4-0. I says, Frank, I wish you'd just blow the whistle now so we can get in and have a glass of wine.
Get back on those cream cakes.
I says, the job's done now. But no, it was a great result. I felt sorry for Big Iffy Honora, because a big nice man, and he was a manager at the time. Don't know if he'd felt sorry for me if he'd been gubbing me 7-0. But I have got a wee bit, I'm quite a softie.
It was such a good game. I mean, you're 3-0 up at half-time. What do you say to a group of players that are 3-0 up, and especially as they're just running riot? Do you say, right, carry on doing what you're doing, or do you say, just be a bit cautious now?
It worries me. It worries me being 3-0 up at half-time.
Because there's only embarrassment coming, or the obvious win.
Yes, they're either you go on a romp, the other team has to come out fighting. It makes me laugh when a team's losing 3-0 or 2-0 at half-time. Then the manager comes out and says, oh, we had a good second half. Bloody damn good right to have a good second half if you're losing 2 or 3-0. If you can't, I mean, the game's all more or less done and dusted. So you have to just, I know it's the psychology of it, like it's very hard if they're 2 or 3-0, to get them maybe out at the same pace, same tempo.
Yes.
Because there's sort of human nature it is to relax. But they come out, they were at it. We had lots of energy in the team. We had Gary Holt, we used to call him 3 lungs, could run all day. We had Grant Holt, the eternal poacher. He
was great. He's a wrestler now.
I know, he's a wrestler.
Start doing wrestling, Grant Holt.
Listen, to be fair, he'll be good at that, because I've seen him going down in the box right, for Nottingham Forest when I was a manager and a coach, when there's nobody near him. When I was a manager at Notts County, when I was playing for Shrewsbury, got a penalty, beat us 3-2. The centre half was 5 yards off him, he went down. So, hey, he'll be a top wrestler.
You took us to the brink of the playoffs, and it really did energise the City ground. It got everyone back excited with Forest again. And then the club gave the job to Colin Calderwood. Did that come as a shock?
That was a knife in my heart.
Oh, man.
It was a knife in my heart. Me and Frank went to a meeting down at Nigel Doughty's house. God rest his soul. Nigel was a real good man. Real good man. Yeah. So we're down there. We're sat at the dinner table and Nigel's at the top. John Pellin, Mark Arthur's across from me. Nigel Doughty says to me, we're talking about, just having dinner, he says, Charlie, who do you think should be the new manager of Nottingham Forest Football Club? I says, Mr. Chairman, you're the owner, chairman, chief exec, financial director. I don't pick managers for this football club. He got a wee bit annoyed, Nigel. He says, well, I'm asking you. I says, well, I should be the new manager. He went, fine. He says, well, what about Martin O'Neill? So Frank's kicking me under the table. So I goes, Nigel, if you can go and get Martin O'Neill, and it means me losing my job or a job at the football club, you go and get Martin O'Neill for Nottingham Forest Football Club. Simple as that. I says, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. I says, I don't think Martin will come. The next minute, Mark Arthur pipes up. He goes, Charlie, would you work with a director of football? I goes, yes, Frank Barlow. He's a wily old fox, knows the game inside out, When I need the reins on me, I need a bit of advice, he'll pull me in. I says, we're a great team. I says, if you give me the job, I says, if I don't take them out League One, I will walk away for nothing. I says, that is how confident I am, me and Frank, taking Nottingham Forest up. I say, I'll cut the wage bill, I'll get players in, and I'll get us out this league.
Wow.
Simple as that. I says, that is how it is. I'd like to live and die by my own sword. I know the game's moved on a bit now, and if you've got a good director of football who looks after the manager, you can trust them and bring the right players in for you, as long as you get a pick of the players. I think it's great. It does take a bit of pressure off the manager, but you'll have to be singing from the same hymn sheet. And that's where I left it. I says to Nigel, I want the job. I'll take your club forward. I says, I'll get you out this league. I says, then we'll look at it again. I says, then we take it from there again. I says, I'm ready. I was on holiday in Cyprus and I got a phone call from Nigel, and Nigel told me he had appointed Colin Calderwood.
You then and Frank become coaches to the first team in that situation. How hard is it to work under basically a guy who's replaced you?
Well, he's not replaced me as I was a caretaker. I was just looking after the club.
Yeah.
Me and Frank told, obviously, until we got. And it's not hard for me, honestly. I've still got the same morals, integrity. And
were you aligned? Were you aligned philosophically and morally? And
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I just looked him in the eye, and I went and met Colin Calderwood. I says, Colin, if you don't want me here, looked him in the eye. I says, be honest with me. I says, I know how football works. If you don't want me here, go over, see Mark Arthur or speak to Nigel, sort my contract out, and I'll move on. And he says, no, I want you here. I says, because I'll be straight up front with you all the time. There'll be no grey areas, no knives in the back, no all that stuff. You know where I'm coming from.
I remember at the time the fans wanted you to get the job, definitely. Were you aware of that? Were people coming up to you in the street? Were you getting messages from supporters?
Yeah, well, we're winning games. It went from on the floor to a bit hysteria, because there'd been a lot of bad times. And again, just missing out. And yeah, I think in this day and age, if you've got a caretaker manager who wins 9, draws 3, loses 1 or 8, 4 and 1,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I think you've got a real good chance of getting the job.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's stuff I says in the meeting with Nigel and Mark and John, you know, because I'm quite forthright.
Yeah, but I think you'd have regretted not saying, if you'd have come out of that meeting and not said your piece, I think you'd have probably regretted that more.
Oh, definitely. But maybe that's how I'm out of work now for 2 or 3 years.
Well, no. But you do a lot of punditry work, don't you, on Notts TV?
Yeah, I sit and talk some nonsense there, like about football.
Do you
and
enjoy
tactics.
that?
I love football.
Yeah.
I would love to have a Gary Neville like Sky tactics board where I could really go through it and all that stuff.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and not talk as much nonsense as him. Yeah, right, to be fair.
After your period in charge of Forest, you then have this bizarre experience at Notts County where you're managing them. You hoist them, similar to the job you did at Forest, out of the bottom 3. You get them to 5th in the league, and this is during the period when Munto Finance.
Oh wow! Where do you want me to start?
Wherever you like. Wherever you like.
I've got a regret about that. I didn't diary every day. I made a massive mistake.
Have you written down everything that you can remember now?
I've got a lot of things, but if I diaried that right,
yes,
I could have had a bestseller. Not because I was a good footballer, but because of what went on at that specific time. They would not believe it. The general manager came into me and says, Ian, can you introduce me to the players? I says, yes. Peter Tremblay. I says, I'll introduce you to the players. I says, don't mention money, Peter. Goes in, I've got 24 footballers in there. Yeah. Lee Hughes, Westcard, Jamie Clapham, good players, Neil Bishop, Johnny Jackson, Ben Davis. Good footballers, you know, proper pros and stuff like that. So I says, this is your new general manager, Peter Tremblay. Together, us, the football club, I says, if we don't get out of this league with these players, and me as a manager, I've not done my job as a manager, you've not done your job as a player.
Yeah.
I says, Peter wants to have a word with you. And it's like, it's quite, when people are not used to walking into a dressing room environment, they're out of their comfort zone. They panic. And they look at the lads, so that is their environment.
It's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brutal, right? The lads walk in, so he says, I'm Peter Tremblay. And all the lads, they've got Hughes, he's sitting there with a big massive grin on his face, like you've got Westcard nudging something like, and I'm standing behind him with my coaching staff. He says, you are now playing for the second richest team in the world.
Oh my God. Oh no.
I looked at Dave, Christ. Same man. Next minute, they're all cell laughing, the lads. Looked over at Jamie Clapham. He goes to Jamie, you will never see bonuses like what you're going to get here. You've never got bonuses at Ipswich and Tottenham Hotspur that you're going to get here. Jesus Christ. I'll get some of this. Peter, I told you not to mention money. He says, well, what's the problem with that? I says, the problem is I'll have them all knocking my door for a rise. And some of them deserve it. You know what I mean? Next minute, I've got 6 players knocking on my door.
So you had Sven-Göran Eriksson as director of football.
Wow.
What was he like to deal with, and what was your relationship like?
I tried to have a relationship with him.
A lot of people did.
not that sort of relationship, like, I'm sure, like, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't know how he does it, because he's not exactly Richard Gere.
He's got something. He's
got them platform shoes, right?
Oh, really? Stacked heels?
Yep, he's got them high heels.
Like Noel Edmonds.
Orthopaedic.
He's a very charming man. He's always got time for people, shake their hand, have a glass of wine. But that doesn't wash with me. But
does he know his foot? I mean, it's a daft thing to say, but he was England manager, for crying out loud. But in your opinion, I mean, not many do in your opinion, but...
No, nobody will listen to my opinion, honestly. I'm a Scotsman talking about England. But I'm actually glad he was England manager, because I think they would have won the World Cup if they'd had another manager. And that would have been terrible for me being a Scotsman, right, in all your nation. But
Johnny's nodding along.
But no, listen, he had the best players, and he got it tactically wrong. he kept bringing players into the football. He didn't know League Two. I says to him, Sven, I says, you just be the figurehead. Let me look after League Two. I says, kept bringing all these players from all over the world. We had a £30,000 bill at the hotel. The financial lads coming to me, Ian, what about this? I'm going, take that to Sven. Nothing to do with me. I told him, I have got enough in this dressing room. I says, leave League Two, League One, Championship to me. Then if you say we're going to back us all the way, come in at the Premier League.
Yes.
You know, he kept trying to bring these players, and this is a true story. I don't want to go on and like bore you with it, but we'd just been beat 2-1 at Chesterfield. Yeah. Jack Lester, 2 penalties. Jack loves a dive as well. Our friend John, you know, dived in. I told John, good mates with Jack, you know what Jack's like. Don't dive in, stay on your feet.
Yeah.
Jack did enough to win the game. We'd had a couple of injuries before it, so the next game morning, the staff's off, players are off, and I'm in the office. Sven comes in. You stopped trying to play the ball out from the back last night. I goes, no, I didn't. I says, what happened is when we made the changes, the players that we made the changes didn't want to receive the ball from the goalkeeper. That is why it got a bit mishy-mashy. I says, and this is League Two, Sven, right? I says, we're going to Chesterfield, local rivals, full house, quite an intimidating crowd.
Yeah.
Chesterfield, because of all this circus, Sven, with you and all this nonsense that's going on, everybody wants to beat us. They've all got an extra yard.
And they're thinking, get up and their brain's not on it.
Exactly. And they're thinking they're going, and I say sometimes, especially away from home, it's going to be like that a little bit. Going to have to fight to earn the right to play. You've seen the preparation before. Same preparation, same way we want to play. So, what are you talking about? I says, in fact, you tell me how you failed with England in the World Cup. I says, if you want to talk tactically, you know, when you stuck Darius Vassell straight up top and started hitting long balls up to him in the World Cup, and you've got the best players that England have had in years. So that didn't go down very well.
He poked the wrong bear there, didn't he?
So it was. But no, I've always wanted to be straight to the point. Like,
what did he say?
His face went red. He doesn't like confrontation, and I don't really either. But I was really off with getting beat with Chesterfield, and I think like that was a stupid question because he's meant to be a football man, and he's watched us do all our preparation. The other one was when I was sat in the office. I was looking for another centre forward.
I think I know what's coming in. I can't wait to hear you say it because I was going to ask you.
He used to call me Ian. Ian, I've got 2 players for you. You're being nice. Being nice. I says, all right, Sven, who are they? He goes, Ronaldo. I say, excuse me? He goes, Ronaldo. I was getting a bit fed up with all this circus, all this stuff that was going on. I just wanted to coach my players, manage my players, win football matches for the fans. I was sick of all the nonsense, and I know it was all pie in the sky. Yeah. You know, it was too good to be true. Stuff that was going on, I knew it was all going to go pop. So I was getting a bit, I says, you mean the fat Brazilian? Ian, he's always wanted to play in England. I says, no. I says, I'm not having it. Ian, he will sell lots of shirts. I says,
what, you work in the shop?
Yeah. I says, I couldn't get a monkey's about selling shirts. I'm all about winning football matches. I say, it's up to the people in the shop, the PR people to sell shirts. So I'm not having it. So I calmed down a bit. Because it was all coming to a head, like. And I says, right, who's the next one? He goes, Shevchenko. I swear on my 2 boys' life. Shevchenko.
This is true.
No,
I heard this.
I says, how much is you on a week? He went, 80,000. 80,000.
He was at Chelsea at the time?
Yeah. Yes, but he wasn't in the team. So I think Sven thought he could maybe get him on loan to come and play at Meadow Lane. So I says, well, how are we going to pay that? He says, no, he says, they'll pay 60 and we'll pay 20. I says, I don't want them. You don't want them? I said, no, I don't want them. I says, I've told you. Them players in that dressing room will win this league easy. Whether I'm here or not. I says, I don't want all this circus. I says, have you ever been to Accrington Stanley? You ever been to Dagenham? You ever been to Morecambe, the old ground? These League Two grounds.
Bury.
But, you know, I say,
Gig Lane.
like, listen, Gig Lane's fantastic.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the other ones. I says, I've got players who want to play for this football club. Don't want any nonsense like that. And that is just a tip of the iceberg.
What an incredible experience, Ian, Charlie. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in today. Thank you so much for joining
Always,
us.
mate. Nice one. Thank
Could
you.
have went on for another 3 hours.
Well, come back in the new year. Come back in the new year. Well, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Reservoir Red Dogs. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Email the show rrd1865@outlook.com and tweet us at rrd1865. Hit subscribe, leave us an iTunes review, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.